Celtic fans view this evening. Welcome back to the channel, and it is Dundee. We're going to talk about the Dundee game in just a minute. We'll just get see how many people are online. First of all, there's quite a lot of people in the chat, which is all good. I'll say hello to everyone in the chat before we get going. Free Palestine says, let's get this in nice and early. I've got to admit, Alistair Johnson waffles on a hell of a lot. Lol, couldn't make it to the end. Absolutely impressive. Yes, the Alistair Johnson interview was obviously talking about his head knock, and just other stuff. And Alistair Johnson, he is called Talk a lot Johnson, I think. And then Stephen says, I stopped listening to Alistair Johnson as well. Tom Maxey saying, well, Lorna Gallagher is in the house. Stephen's in the house. Alistair Johnson was talking about how good he looks and some other fish. Yes, it was that. Diane's in the house. Green Machine's in the house. Scenari's in the house from North London. Mark Kay's in the house. Hazel 67's in the house. And Joseph is in the house also. And right, let's talk about the Brendan Stuart Ramsey is in the house. How you doing, Stuart? Anyone like a weed vape business? What? Right, I'm going to do this. Let me just turn the volume up on this. We're going to listen to Brendan Rodgers. Yep.
Since I've been up here, and I think any journalist or reporter or anyone in media, I've always based my life on relationships. Yep. So I've always offered a warmth, a respect, being courteous. Since I've been up here, and offering time to people, and that will never ever change. I've always based my life on so obviously when there was, I've always offered a warmth. That little bit that was out there, and offering time to big bit, however it was, and of course it change. Yeah, I feel the need to address that because, like I said, I deal with people in life, whether it's players, relationships with them. I want to help them become better. Like you say, of course, in the media, yeah, I've spoken to Jane. I feel she wasn't offended. I deal with had a laugh about it. Whether she'll continue to ask me awkward questions, relationships with them. Sure, and but I see her every week, and you say, of course, in the media, good relations. Like I said, I've spoken to Jane. I feel most people in my life wasn't like I said, that's professional. I deal with had a laugh about it. And the irony of it is, it's funny actually because I shared with players there not so long ago, but I see her every week, and you say, of course, in the media, good relations. Like I said, I've spoken to Jane. I feel most people in my life wasn't like I said, that's professional. I deal with had a laugh about it. And the irony of it is,
that's Brendan Rodgers. That's Brendan Rodgers talking. It sounds like two people talking. Yes, but yeah, there was feedback on, but sorry about that. Yes, can't listen to that. Michael Ross, first ever double in the second part of recording. Yes, but it's two people talking. Yes, I know. I've cut it off. The software I'm using is going berserk tonight. Even YouTube is going berserk tonight. Anyway, right. Let's do that. Echo, echo, echo. The echo should be stopped now. And keep off that acid. Says Paul. Just turn that back up. Turn this back up so I can hear. Just to make sure it is. Yeah, it's fine. Right, let's get back into it. Stuart was back on acid back in the 1990s there. Right, the Green Brigade. There is something I want to talk about tonight. Obviously, anyone that knows this channel, we all know she's a good girl, don't we? Yeah, she comes from the other side. Comes from the other side. Brendo handled the situation pretty well. I thought there was no need for him to apologise as far as I was concerned. And let's face it, the only ones that were a little bit upset was the current Buns. Now, the Green Brigade in the North Curve today put out a video on their Twitter of the game. And I've not seen a video like this coming out of the Green Brigade or the boys for a long, long time. Once again, Celtic fans are subject to dangerous police practices Saturday's match through the use of excessive force. Police horses, steel weapons, and as a pattern of behaviour the club has done nothing to address, despite the increasing concerns. Now, the video in question shows one policeman holding a guy down. The next policeman comes along. The guy's face down on the floor, and he then puts his hands on him to put his down. Then there's another copper comes along. He then puts his head on the Celtic fans, his face on the head of the Celtic fan, pushing his head down into the ground. Then a fourth policeman comes along, and this guy is basically his face down on the ground, and there's four policemen decided to jump on to help this one policeman to put cuffs onto this guy. And then you've got a line of police pushing everyone else away from the Celtic fan in question. Now, this has went on for over 12 years now at Celtic. It's, it's a ridiculous situation. I think that I'm just glad that I don't go to games anymore, because with that nonsense that goes on, I'll post it. I'll post it here. You need to have Twitter, but I'll post it here so you can go watch it afterwards. I'm just retweeting it onto my, and then what I'll do is I'll also put it on here. No, that's not that. The North Curve. Copy that. Let's see if we can go for Twitter. If I can't put it up on, it's too long a URL. If I can't put it up on here, I'll take the video and I'll put it as a shot. No, it's not letting me post it. I'll put it up at the end of the game. At the end of the game, the end of the video, I'll put it up in the community tab. I'll put a link up to it in the community tab. It's absolutely disgusting what Police Scotland do, and they've obviously been looking for this guy for a length of time, and they've went in and they've nabbed him. There's no need for it whatsoever. It's just go back some of the videos, the early videos on this channel. Go back some of the videos 10 years ago, and you'll see the kind of behaviour that used to happen then, and it's still going on now. And these are just young guys that are going to the game, and you can say whatever you want about it, but yeah, found it as perfect, Stephen. Right, and let's move on for that. We'll finish with that. It's disgusting behaviour by the police, but fuck the police, as far as I'm concerned. Right, talking about the Liverpool goalkeeper. The Liverpool goalkeeper has said that he is open to the prospect of joining Celtic, and the terms of a transfer going forward have to be thoroughly explored by Celtic in the coming months. Close sources to the player describe Celtic having a good chance of finding an agreement. Now, there's people saying that Liverpool are looking for 30 million. I don't think they'll be looking for 30 million whatsoever. I think that Liverpool might come in with about 15 million, but I can't see them being worth 30 million. Not a chance. Not for a number 2 goalkeeper. Don't care if it's English Premiership or not. I think Liverpool will be realistic with the player, and by all accounts, Celtic have a little bit. Lorna Gallagher says, fucking disgraceful, the police, people making such a big deal about Brendan, saying good girl. What has the world come to? What has the world come to when it's got things like that? And I will post that on, I'll post it on a short on this channel. Happened back in the day. Tynecastle police attacked the bus, took our carryouts off us and put them in the bin. Green machine. We used to, when I was bus convener, this is the cracker, anybody that knew the Rafferty bus for Kirkcaldy, we would sell a carryout on the bus basically back in the day, and it was quite good for the club. We used to have 2 carrier bags, 2 holdalls full of bevy, and we used to find the most fantastic places to hide them on the bus. And the bus was searched many, many times by the police, and they never got them. So we'll get them for 18 million, and he's out of league, says Celt 88. What a Yang CCV either from the start of the weekend. Keller won't be worth 13 million, too much for Lywell and Co. I don't think personally he'll be a player that will go for 30 million. I don't think that he will be a player that will go for 30 million. Anyway, in other Celtic news, Celtic play Dundee tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening. It will not be available on Sky Sports. It has not been selected for broadcast. Instead, they will be showing the Livingston and Motherwell game. Livingston and Motherwell. It's not all bad news. Celtic fans can watch it by paying Celtic £12.99 to watch the game on Celtic TV. Celtic TV that crashes quite a lot. Celtic TV. You can also listen to the game on BBC Radio Scotland, or if you have a little Amazon Fire Stick, you can plug the Fire Stick in and get a little app, and you can watch it on that. It will also be shown on the SPFL's YouTube channel. The highlights at 10:40 at night tomorrow night. Celtic and Dundee's official Twitter accounts will also give you updates on the game. Tell me what you think the team will be. I've not even thought about the team. I think Brendan's going to have to make some changes because of the fact that Rocky is out. Will he start, obviously, Carmen Carter-Vickers from the start? Will he start Carter-Vickers from the start, or will he bring him on at the second half? Overreaction to the Brendan Rodgers conference. Chill pill. Yes, definitely. When you look at the league, we are playing Dundee, who are sitting sixth in the league. They're sitting on 32 points. They have lost 3 of their last 5 games. They lost 2, they won 2, then they lost 1 the last game that they played. They're sitting sixth in the league, though, which is quite good for Dundee. You've got to say. But Celtic, it is all about what Celtic do. And Celtic, I've got to say, back at Celtic Park, and the manager took a little bit umbrance with the fact that some of the fans booed when he made a decision to take off a defensive midfield player and bring on an attacking midfield player. When you think about what Brendan said, he says he thought it was a strange one from the fans to boo him for taking off a defensive midfield player and put on an attacking midfield player to try and win the game. He's seen it was a positive move. And it turned out as a positive move. So everyone that booed at the game at the weekend, even though they were booing because of the scoreline at the time the substitution was made, I think that Brendan's quite right to then talk about the fact that, look, if you're going to have all this negativity in the stands and you're going to boo, there's every chance that negativity, and this is I'm directing to the fans at Celtic Park, the negativity and the feelings and the anxiousness in the stands is portrayed onto the pitch, and you can see that when we play at home. You can see the negativity in the play, and I've said it for ages. I said, you've got to watch what you wish for. If you keep on thinking negative things, it will happen. It's the world. It's the way that the universe works. If you put out negativity all the time, you're going to get negativity back. So I think it's time that the fans started changing their tune at Celtic Park and started backing the team from the start and trying to push this team over the line to win the league. Ultimately, that is ultimately what we're trying to do, and the team needs us. The team needs the fans. It's as simple as that. The team does need the fans, and the manager is concerned that there is an excess of negativity, an excess of negativity coming from the stands. Speaking about keepers, you think that the young guy will be the third choice keeper? Yes, Lanky, I think he will. I think he'll be brought back to Celtic and he'll be made third choice keeper. I can't see us going out and buying 2 keepers in the next transfer window. Ross County St Mirren on Sky tonight. Yes, it's fucking brilliant, isn't it? I might watch it just for a laugh, because when you look at it, Ross County versus St Mirren. I mean, Ross County are way down the bottom of the league, second bottom, 22 points. Ross County is a fantastic away day. I like to see Ross County staying in the league. I do like to see Ross County staying in the league, because it's one of those away games when you're on a bus. You've got a good day out. You've got a good bevy session, and if you can get up early enough and you pass all the police and everything, you can get a nice wee day out and a good wee bevy. Jim Dolan says, "Good evening, Baz. Just arrived babysit his granddaughter. Hope you're well. I'm fine, Green Machine says. Brendan gambled and he's got to be commended for it, says Green Machine. And then Stephen Ross is talking about the Ross County game. Celtic won't pay 10 million for a keeper. Let's not kid ourselves. Ricky Kelly, come back in the summer and hopefully Celtic will have paid that kind of money for a keeper. Zero chance of getting Lunan. No, I don't think we're going to get Lunan. I think he'll be way without a chance we'll get the guy from Turkey. But anyway, we'll move on from that. Celtic are sitting on 65 points. We need to win tomorrow. Can Kilmarnock, who are sitting in fourth, take anything at all from the game with the Rangers? It is away to Kilmarnock, so I can't see it, to be honest. It'd be fantastic if they were to get a draw. If Kilmarnock were to get a draw, it would be fantastic. But will they? Will they? Anyway, who cares? A lot of people are saying. Alistair Johnson was talking about his head injury and lots of other things this afternoon. And what about the left back position? Because it's been said today that the one and only Andy Robertson, I'm going to put this one out there, Andy Robertson has been linked with a summer move out of Liverpool. He has been linked with a move away from Liverpool. But don't worry, Celtic fans, he's not coming home. He's going to Bayern Munich. It looks like it might be on his way to Bayern Munich. Killer the wee Huns, yes, they are that. First team football. Too many players underperformances. James Strangeloctor says, Michael, well, Lunan is a player. Yep, is that. Why would he leave Spain? I wouldn't leave Spain to go to Scotland anyway. It's just my personal thoughts. Anyway, let's move from that. We'll shut that down. The club believe Kelly and Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson. Would it be good to get Andy Robertson, even at the grand old age that he is? And he's only he's 29 as Andy Robertson. And he's going to be leaving Liverpool. And it looks like, I mean, the fact that Celtic didn't pick him up when he was at Queen's Park or Dundee United. And then he goes down to Hull City and then joins Liverpool. And he turns out to be a fantastic player down at Liverpool. And Celtic thought he wasn't good enough when a long, long time ago. Another silly mistake by Celtic. I would take Robo in a heartbeat. I think we would all take Andy Robertson in a heartbeat, and he's a Celtic fan. But he wouldn't, our wage structure, he wouldn't say. We can't even afford Tierney. Listen, get Tierney out your head. Kieran Tierney will come back to Celtic when he's wanting to have his swan song. Kieran Tierney would not come back to Celtic from Spain. Trust me on that one. And there's not a chance. He's living the lifestyle far too much here in Spain. And when you read the Spanish papers and he has some interviews, he's loving life far too much. I had faith in Yang from day one. Glad to see him progressing. There's only one Yang. Oh, Jesus, says Alan Stevenson. Right, let's see if there's any other headlines out tonight. I'm not even going to talk about what team I think that I think is going to play the week tomorrow night. And obviously, Brendan Rodgers is saddened to be accused of sexism, and he said the offended ones. Let's face it, the offended ones were Rangers fans. The offended one were Sefconian Rangers fans, and that's it. That is it. That is it. Brendan Island Winger says Brendan Rodgers wanted to keep him. Got that Livingston game. Brendan Rodgers. I'm just trying to see if there's other headlines there. What do you think the score will be tomorrow night? And what about Brendan Rodgers talking about James Forrest? There's one, because James Forrest hasn't been even near any of the bench. Same with Hickey. Yes, Hickey. Oh my God. Hickey was Celtic daft, and he wanted to come to Celtic for Hearts as a lad from Hearts, and Celtic never went for him. And look at the player that he has turned out. Look at the player he's turned out. Get KT out your head. Yes, get KT out your head. Lanky says, James, we'll let him go because he was too weak, apparently. Yeah. Wex 1888, welcome to the channel. It's okay if you're a wife, but don't call it's Hun mentality. Yep. Linked to the Turkish keeper. Yeah, we have been linked to the Turkish keeper. And Brendan Rodgers talking about James Forrest. Talking about James Forrest and the fact that he thinks that James Forrest will be used before the end of the season. Como Studio. I need to get Como Studio. Just 2 seconds till I do this. And come on, it's not that. Change our setting. There we go. That's a bit better. There, that's a bit better. Yeah, the manager's talking about the one and only James Forrest, saying that James Forrest will be used. And he's basically said James Forrest doesn't have it in him to go for the whole 90 minutes with pace. And that's basically why he's not in the team. So why is James Forrest then given such a long contract by Brendan Rodgers and co? Why was he given an extended contract? Should James Forrest leave Celtic in the summer? The saves he makes on YouTube are phenomenal. See, when you look at goalkeepers on YouTube, of course they're going to pick out all the best saves. They're not going to show you the nightmare ones, though. Turkish keeper might be more realistic, says James Dillon. Tell me what you think about James Forrest and the situation with James Forrest, because James Forrest is a player that's been there and done it. Has been there and done it with Celtic, and he's not getting anywhere near the first team. And I've always said that James should see out his career at Celtic, and he should be given a backroom job. But there's nothing in the pipeline with that at the moment. Brendan Rodgers says that he will be used over the next couple of weeks. Abada, rumours were addressed by Brendan Rodgers again, saying that there was no news about him going to America, allegedly. He's never heard nothing about the situation with the player and him wanting to rip up his contract. Of course, Celtic are not going to allow a player to rip up his contract. He's an asset to the club. People thinking that he can just rip up his contract and walk out of Celtic is an asset of the club that the club own. And it's complete utter nonsense to think that a player can just rip up his contract with 5 years remaining on it and walk away for absolutely nothing. It will not happen. Celtic hierarchy will not let it happen. They'd rather the guy sat on his arse till the summer, until the summer transfer window opened. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. And if Leo Abada has turned around and said that he does not want to play for Celtic anymore, that's fine. But he goes on our terms. He doesn't go on the terms that he decides. It doesn't. It doesn't go on the terms. Yeah, Robin. I'm not suggesting that He's going to be here after the summer. Good riddance to him, as far as I'm concerned. If you've got a player that no matter what is going on, it is your professional job. You know, when anyone has a death in the family, you get some time off. You get some time off to then go and mourn, and then you come back to work and you get on with it, right? He's a Celtic player. He's meant to be professional, but he does not want to play for Celtic. He's down tools basically for Celtic. So we can all add to the speculation, but the fact is that he's basically down tools for Celtic. He wants to leave, so let him leave. Let him leave, as far as I'm concerned. But he goes on our terms. He doesn't get to rip up a contract. And Brendan Rodgers says that there's that's not going to happen as much as that. Right, wingers have been brutal, so why not play James Forrest? Yeah, I think that's what they were kind of getting at when they were asking the manager today. Is why is James Forrest not in and about? Because let's face it, James has still got it in him to be able to come in off the wing and score a goal for the outside of the box. But the managers want to try and get these younger ones to be doing it. Maybe James is doing the training with them. Maybe that's why they're 9 p.m. and not 9 million and not a penny less for Lil Abada to sell 88. Peter Murphy said, "The bear? What? Worth the bet? What's worth the bet?" Forrest wee brother has been pumping. Oh, jeez. Not even going to go there. Police Gestapo Scotland. Yes, they are. Police Gestapo Scotland. They are that. I'm done with the badass. Sick hearing his name now says something today. I think a lot of us, a lot of people had sympathy for him for what happened on the 7th of October. But the fact now is, let's not go. We all know what's happening in Gaza. It's you don't need to watch the news to know. You just go on any social media site and you know the devastation that's getting caused in Gaza and in Palestine, and people aren't talking about that. But he's decided to down tool. So that's it. That's the last we talk about him. We move on from him. Swap deal with Liverpool with Abada for Kelleher. Well, there you go. That would be a cracker. I wish we would let Abada chat go. Chilpel, it's the fact that the media are talking about it. And as far as I'm concerned, on this channel, he's dead to us. He's like the grumpy Greek. We move on from it. We move on. He's not in the team. He's not in the squad. So let him go. But he goes on our terms. He does not. This speculation that's coming out of Israel that he wants to rip up his contract. You can't legally. You can't just rip up a contract. Um, you can't just rip up a contract. So how come he goes on our terms and our terms only? The Americans didn't want to pay $9 million for the player. Well, I'm sure somebody in Europe or down in England where he can go down there and see how he gets on. Anyway, when you've had your testimonial, I must feel like he's already said his goodbyes. It's a weird one regarding Jamesy. And it's not really, yeah, because you usually get your testimonial the last year you play, but Scott Brown will get, I can't remember. And anyway, right, Abada should be. James has been good on the bench, but anytime he has started, he has been mince. I think that's what Brendan Rodgers is saying. Celtic hold his football registration. Exactly. Celtic hold his football registration, and they can keep hold of that until they want to sell him in the summer. If the Americans don't want to pay the $9 million for him, well, do you know what? Tough. We move on. We do move on from that. Stephen, the lights off is strange tonight. Because that one's not down. That one needs to move. I need to get one of these lights sorted. Anyway, right. Tell me what you think the scoreline will be tomorrow night. Tell me what you think the scoreline will be tomorrow night against Dundee. Dundee, who are sitting sixth in the league. They're sitting on -5 goal difference. -5 goal difference. After they've only played 26 games, they're on 32 points. So I don't know. I said 3-0. I said 3-0 at the weekend. What was their last score? Your results. Give me 2 seconds to see what their last scores were. They got beat by Hibernian. 2-1. 2-1. I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic again. I think I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic. Yeah, there's a lot of people going for 3-0. It's the other way around, lads, because we're. Oh no, it's at home, isn't it? It's at home. I'm going for 4-0. It's at home. I'm going for 4-0. Israel players can't play for Celtic. Seriously. Any win, Chilpel. I'm going for 3-0. 4-0, sorry. I'm going to go for 4-0. I think it's about time that we got a good result at Celtic Park. And I think that either a hat trick for either and 4-0. 3-0 for me. It's at Celtic Park. Brendan Rodgers spoke about the fact that the fans need to stop the negativity from the stands. The booing at the game at the weekend when he took off a defensive midfield player. But as I said, 1-1 against Motherwell. Stephen, you did that. Brendan Rodgers said that the booing when he made what he thought was a positive substitution at the weekend, taking off a defensive midfield player and bringing on an attacking player, he saw it as a positive move to try and win the game. People at the game decided to boo the manager making that decision and the player coming off, and they had egg on their faces come the end of the game. Although coming up to the end of the game, you maybe thought that wouldn't happen. But the attitude of the players is to make sure that we keep on going until the very end. I think it's about time that at Celtic Park, a nighttime kickoff tomorrow evening. It's going to be, it's going to be a good one. It is at home, isn't it? Yeah, it is at home. Celtic Park tomorrow night. It's a home game. Should be a full house. Full house. Buses coming from all over the country. It's time to get behind the team. Get the lights on, get the disco lights on, and get behind the team and make as much noise as possible. So let's face it, what Brendan Rodgers was basically saying is, if the negativity in the stands, all this negativity in the stands keeps on going, of course it can echo onto the pitch. And he's getting to that at Celtic Park, because when you get to the last 20 minutes of the game, the atmosphere around the ground at Celtic Park is horrible. People are saying it's horrible. It's just it's strange. It's I mean, a couple of my mates are saying this at the Celtic end, for instance, apart from the corner where the boys are, the Celtic end, it's people are going nuts. People are going absolute nuts, complaining about anything and everything that's going on in the pitch. There's so much negativity coming for the ground, and if you keep on producing that negativity, we're going to end up with nothing because that's what negativity gives you. It gives you absolute nothing. We need to get out some positivity on that pitch, and we need to push we need to push the team over the line. We need to push the team over the line. It's just as it's just as it's a fact. It's a fact of life. You put positivity out there, and the positivity you'll get back. It's the way I live my life. Anyway, let's get to some of the comments. Strange Love Doctor says a pleasing performance and 3 points is all that he wants. I don't care how much. I want a good winning display and a clean sheet. A good winning display. Stephen, what's a good winning display? Because I've said this. If we can win 2-0, really ugly, right the way to the end of the season, and I'll be happy. I'll be happy. As long as it comes to the end of the season and we pick up that double, and we play really ugly, and you know what, we just scrape over the line, I'm fine with that. Because it's all about just making sure that we do it. It's like Brendan Rodgers says, there's 11 games left in the league. This is the money shot. This is the money shot bit that we're in the season. It's the money shots bit of the season where we're just got to push. We've got to help the team get over the line. This nonsense says, Baz, where's Mrs. Baz? Hand of God, lol. She's watching. No, she's working on a personal project of hers. She's actually writing a book. Because yeah, she's writing a book and she's about near publication date. So that's where she is. That's why she's busy. She's not even been watching it. The gang brigade started all this negativity. Says rebel, quadruple treble, rebel. You've got rebel as your name, and then you're going about the gang brigade. Do you not see the irony in that somehow? Is it just me? Exactly. SL17, exactly. Push positivity. Anyone from me says James Lorna says, let's get behind the manager and the team. Show them some love. Rebel, the board story. What the fuck are you talking about? Yep, exactly. And he's called Rebel. Now, is that to the song, or is that because you're an actual rebel? You know what I mean? You think you're an ultra. Anyway, faithful through and through. Something today says, wee Kyogo looks like he's lost weight. His cheekbones are it. Right, I'm going to say something that I said in the pub at the weekend about Kyogo. And see, when you look at Kyogo, is it just me, or is he starting to look like Michael Jackson more and more? Go and see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. He's starting to look like Michael Jackson. Sorry, but is that just me? Anyway, I've said it. I've said it. I've put it out there. You're all going to go and look at a picture of Kyogo now, and he might be a David Bowie fan. I don't know. Well, even better. But anyway, once you've seen it, once you go and look at Kyogo, you're going to go, oh no, he actually does. He fucking looks like Michael Jackson. Anyway. Right, we move on. What's it done to his teeth? He's wearing a gum shield. A really a really white gum shield. But fucking telling you, I said that in the pub. And one of the boys standing next to me in the pub was like, oh no, I can't unsee that. You can't unsee it. You just can't unsee it. Once you see it, and once you look at Kyogo and you go, is it just me, or is he starting to look like Michael Jackson? I'm just waiting on him coming on the pitch and going, anyway, we go off on one. It's a Tuesday night. It's a Tuesday. It's usually a Thursday night. We just go off on one. But tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. Kyogo, Van Tel, Abada, to beat it. Just beat it. Michael Jackson, poor wee guy. Exactly. What's Michael Jackson done? God rest his soul. And if he starts dancing and grabbing his balls, we'll know all about it. Fucking Kyogo. Scores his next goal and his hands up there like Jota does. Michael Jap's son. Oh no. Michael Jack's son said something today. Anyway, oh my God. Anyway, right. I sit in the North Florida stand. Honestly, I've never seen so many people being so negative. Yes, exactly, Martin. It's what I was been talking about. I've spoke to. I still got lots of mates that go to the games, and you know the negativity. They're texting me, and they're like, they don't want to come on to YouTube and stuff. It's like, but they're saying it's like, there's fucking negativity at the ground. Everyone's a fucking football manager. Everyone's a football manager. So yeah. Anyway, I just have a YouTube channel where we talk about Celtic, and it's just pure banter. Just pure banter. Anyway, you started this. I did start it, but once you've seen it, it's just you can't unsee it. I'm going to get a picture of Michael Jackson and Kyogo and put it up just for the comparison. Just for the comparison. Wex says Kyogo doing Thriller surrounded by zombie hunts. That's what wins us the league. The next game at Ibrox. He stands in the park. Oh! And then starts walking backwards. Oh my goodness. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? I would actually crease. Somebody needs to tell Kyogo to do that. I would actually be in stitches. I think everyone would. Anyway, let's get back to it. Blanky, since you said just watch the Orcs giving it Kyogo tight, he will do that. Right. Celtic press conference, Big Rocky injury update. Big Rocky felt his hamstring, so that will set him out. Thankfully, it's not for too long. Brendan Rodgers says Cameron Carter-Vickers needs managing his game time. He's ready to start if need be. You see the difference when he comes on at the weekend. He's a top operator, but we have to be mindful of his minutes and his time. We don't want to burn out Cameron Carter-Vickers. Right, Baz, get the pictures up. I'll put them up on. I'm not putting them on the channel. You'll get people complaining and sexist or stuff, and I'm not getting into that. Yeah, yeah, a banner. Oh my god, I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Says Lorna. Told you it's the best YouTube channel for banter. Anyway, let's get back to the Celtic news. When I was talking about Big Rocky. Big Rocky's coming in. He's out injured for a few weeks. He's pulled his hamstring. A lot of players pulling their hamstring this season, a bit like Ange Postecoglou's first season. We did struggle a bit through Ange Postecoglou's first season also, but we came out on top. We came out on top pretty much after the one and only Tony Ralston scored a late goal up in Ross County. And that was the turning point of that season. That was towards the end of that was about Christmas time, wasn't it? It was just after the new year. Who's your front three against the Huns? That's ages away. That's ages away. You don't need Valium when Cameron Carter-Vickers is on the park. Yes, this is true. Kyogo and Edith. Oh no! Right, I'm going to just go back to that other screen. Anyway, who do you think will start the game tomorrow evening? I've not got a clue. When you look at the changes that could be made, Brendan Rodgers said one thing that Brendan Rodgers said. He said you can't have a best 11 in mind for every single game. He says because things change. He says one thing for sure. The way that games go now, he said you're playing 95 to 100 minutes of football. It's no longer just a 90-minute game and 2 or 3 minutes extra added time. He said when you look at it now, the game, because he's basically having a dig at VAR, because of VAR, the games are being extended to 96, 97, 100 minutes. So you've got to manage the time of all the players. You're never going to finish a game with your perfect starting 11. And he said a starting 11 is the best team for the opposition. That's the way he sees it. He says he picks a team on what he wants the team to do. So it's going to be interesting because I've not got a clue who's going to pick tomorrow night now. I mean, does he go with Kyogo up front again, start Kyogo up front, or does he just go straight in with Adam Ida? Fucking, that's because somebody at the Celtic press conference called him Ida as well. Fucking, I'm just going to call him Adam. Just call Adam. Adam. Anyway, we spoke about the Tomoki Iwata substitution and fans booing, and we also spoke about the 90 minutes And where is James Forrest? We spoke about that also. That was things that was spoke about at the press conference today. And we spoke about the good girl. Good girl, you are beautiful. Better not start singing because let's face it, I'm bad, I'm bad, some more. Anyway, Kyogo is only 63 kilos and nine pounds, 9 stone 9. For fuck's sake. The team is finished, but Awata for Bernardo. The team that finished, but Awata for Bernardo. Interesting. Interesting. I would go with more of the attacking lineup. I don't. I'm going to be. I said it at the weekend, and I think. I think Awata. I think Awata was a man down at times. Awata for me at the weekend was getting. He was getting man marked. Right. I'll give him that. He was. Awata was getting. Reading Pike in English, man. What? Start with either. 63 kilos soaking wet. Oh, the comment section. What was I talking about? What were we talking about? Anyway, how long have we been on the night? This is just going on and on and on. It's like people are dropping off left, right, and centre. There's been 715 um, views so far, and the average person is watching it for 8 minutes. It's always interesting when you see that how long people actually do stay on the live because there's not too many that actually stay to the very end, and you always see the subscriber count going up and down in the live, which is good, which shows you that this number isn't fabricated. It's you see the live count. Some people subscribe just to get on the chat and then unsubscribe again. It's absolutely fucking weird. But anyway, who cares? Anyway, I played well on Sunday, says Graham Hardy. He thought he played well. I thought he was getting man marked off the park. According to TV, Vid Player is showing the match tomorrow night. Is it an away match? No, it's at home, Patrick. It is at home. Awata needs to take the ball from the centre backs. He's too passive in the game when as the game went on. But he did get better. Yeah, I thought the first half he was too. The game was passed on by. We always stay as yes. I know there's a lot of you do stay. There's people that just come in and out that didn't necessarily go into the chat. Kyogo on the left and Edith in the middle. Maida on the right. There you go. Says Lorna, I'm here start to finish bars. That's because you're crazy, Lorna. And where's your Uncle Stuart? There he's up there. Stuart Ramsey. Anyway, Mida, Awata was the anchor man. He might have been the anchor man, but he was also meant to be the man that everything would go through. And nothing kind of went through him. And that's why I think that the game kind of passed him by. And his positioning, he was, if a man was man marking him, he ended up following the guy that was marking him. He wasn't making a lot of room for himself. Anyway, 3 changes: Cameron Carter-Vickers for Rocky, Ida for Kyogo, Palma for Kuhn, says Kenneth White. Gemma says, it's always good laugh watching you. You're the only one, Baz, says Gemma. Do you know what? YouTube is all about entertainment. It is not about, well, I'm not going to knock other channels or other teams, but YouTube is about entertainment, and that's it. And we get to talk about Celtic and be entertained at the exact same time. AGSC Tech says, I agree, but Awata does liberate Callum going forward to do some damage with Matt O'Reilly. That never really happened the first half of the game, though, at the weekend. We know the reason that Awata plays in that position, but it didn't really happen. Also, here's the start. When Rio back from injury, I have no idea. It's a strange one with Rio Hatate, and I think Rio Hatate is going to be a player that I think prepare yourself prepare yourself for a good few players leaving this summer that were brought in under Ange Postecoglou. Paul Emery is here. Paul, you're one of the hardcore ones as well. Liam, you're another hardcore. Lanky, I did say Ida plays like the big grumpy Greek. We miss a player like him. I think we've found Adam is a player that is Celtic do not have the option to buy, but Celtic should definitely make sure if he scores 10 goals. I did say that he would score 7 or more when he first came in. When you look at the amount of goals that he'd scored coming off the bench for Norwich, if he's going to come off the bench for Norwich and score the goals that he scored, he's definitely going to score a barrel load for Celtic. So for me, I think that Adam's going to go on to score 10 before the end of the league. And I hope he starts scoring more tomorrow night up in Dundee. Gonna get a pair. Dundee. Anyway, we've been on for 44 minutes tonight. Let me just see if there's any more Celtic news kicking about that we haven't covered. I think we covered everything that was in the press conference today. The fixtures tomorrow night, obviously tonight. If you want to watch some football, you've got Ross County versus St Mirren. Cracking game. Tomorrow evening at 8:15 kickoff, you've got Aberdeen versus St Johnstone. You've got Celtic versus Dundee. Heart of Midlothian versus Hibs. Hibs away to Hearts. And watch how many fans are away end of Hearts tomorrow night. The Hibernian will have a full stand. Amazing that, isn't it? It's amazing that. It's amazing how they can give one team in the country the full stand, but they can reduce it for others. It's amazing that. It's amazing that. Yeah. Anyway, Kilmarnock entertain the Rangers and Livingston entertain Motherwell tomorrow. So there could be a good few teams chopping changing positions in the league. One that might happen if we can get the correct result could be Celtic going top of the table, but only if they get beat. Only if they get beat. If they draw, we'll still be behind them on goal difference. But it would be good if they could drop some points. It would be fantastic. Stuart Ramsey, I'll keep posting that till I get it read. What are you posting, Stuart? Stuart, Ida in the presence up front for Kyogo is 2 ounces heavier than a migraine. And there you go, Stuart. There you go. Anyway, Kenneth White, Real will be lucky to make it before the split. Who gets dropped for Rio Hatate to come back into the team? Rio Hatate, when he comes back into the team, you're going to have to manage his fitness, a bit like Cameron Carter Vickers. We're going to have to manage it. Stuart, I said what you said. Jesus. Ida wins us the title. He's already become a legend. Yes, I think Ida will be the player that will win us the title. Right, that's 8 minutes. I'm off, Barry. No, we're out. Yeah. Rangers will drop points tomorrow, says Martin. I hope so. Adam will got the Hun game. Look, boys, we're fucking these cuts up. We are that. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. I've said it. Said it umpteen times. I maybe said when we drop points, I thought it's in the balance. But when you look at it, it is all for us to do. It is all for us to do. Lanky, we'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks in his opinion. Right, I'm off. Oh, Jesus. No, they won't. They'll get a traditional penalty. Cheerio says Stuart. McInnes says the Hun. Mason, I'm not even going to talk about them. We did say that it's going to be either 3 or 4-0 to Celtic tomorrow. I think that we should finish with some positivity. 5-0 tomorrow. Give me your big scores for Celtic tomorrow. If either wins us the league, I think we should give him. I think he's going to be the player. Going to be a player that comes in, and if we don't sign him, it'll be disappointing if he does win us the league. Hatate is a ball carrier and sorely missed. He's a ball carrier and sorely missed. He's not had the best of seasons, and he's definitely not been in form this season. When you think about a player that left Celtic at the last window, getting in before him, Turnbull, because Turnbull was a better player at the beginning of the season. It says all about Hatate you want to know. Awasa or Paulo will be dropped if Rio is fit. That's an interesting one. So that means Callum McGregor going back into that position and Rio Hatate going back up front. We need some rebels. The rebels are here. Lorna Gallagher says, have a great night, troops. Cheers, Baz. 4-1. Street shitter, you are getting the last comment this evening. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans. We'll be right back with the Celtic news first thing in the morning. And then we'll be live before the game tomorrow night, and then live after the game also. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. Up the good guys, up the ra, up the ra.